So welcome everyone. We've got a lot of people in the house. So if there's any more people that need a chair, if anyone has missed a chair who needed a chair, just raise your hand. There's chairs over here if you can get there. A spare chair, a good spare chair. Nice view there. So welcome everyone, and also welcome people that are joining us via live stream. This is being satellited, this session, across the NT and to South Australia. If you want to ask questions via live stream, then you need to text in those questions. That's, you say your name first and your location, and then 0475 918 400. And I believe we are connecting back to Waralungku today. So please switch off your mobile phones in respect to this session. I want to start by acknowledging the Aranda people as the traditional owners of this country. We're standing on Mbantua, Alice Springs, and welcome also to all the senior Aranda people in the audience. This session we've long awaited for. It's been a long time that I saw this book, and I said I want those people to come here for this Writers' Festival. And I talked to Pat Ansell Dodds on my advisory group, and she said, you should ask them. And so I did. I asked them, and I told them that she'd ask them, and that's how it came to be. This long journey we've taken to have the ladies here. And they were supported to be here by Gudanji Corporation, and Marra, and MacArthur River Mine to get here. And they're being supported here by the NT Writers Centre and by Music NT. So welcome. They've written this most beautiful book, the Gulf Country Songbook, Yanyuwa, Marra, Garrwa, Gudanji songs, 4 language groups here. Affectionately, I'm told that it's called the Singing Book, because it's a multimedia, multilingual publication, and it literally sings. So I'm going to hand over in a moment to Karin Riederer, who's also a co-author on this book. And I'll just introduce her to begin with, and she'll take it away for us. So, as well as being the co-author and creative producer of the Gulf Country Songbook, she published this on behalf of Waralungku Arts in Waralungku, I should also say. She's a creative engineer of cultural initiatives, exhibitions and festivals, pursuing ideas that evolve from thoughtful community engagement. She has extensive arts worker experience in urban and remote communities, and is a former book publisher, editor and publicist. And some of us know her well. She's spent a lot of time in Alice Springs doing good work here. So welcome Karin, and welcome ladies. Thank you.
Thank you. It's lovely to have such an impressive audience. I'm not going to stand. We're all going to sit for this. But before moving on to introductions, we would like to just warn everyone that this presentation does contain the stories, images, names, and voices of people who have passed away. Sadly, a lot of people passed away during the production of this book. But we'd like everyone in the room to know that we have permission from all of the senior kin of those people. It's very important to everyone that the knowledge and work of people involved in the making of this singing book, and the old people who've come before, continues to be shared and celebrated. I'm going to introduce you to Marlene Timothy, who's sitting here, who is a Garrwa and Yanyuwa woman who's been deeply involved in the book across the different language groups. She's employed at Waralungku Arts, and she's going to introduce the rest of the panel here for us. So over to Marlene.
Hello everyone. My name is Marlene Timothy, Yanyuwa Garrwa woman. Just like to introduce you to the singers. On my right is Marjorie Keighran, she's a Garrwa woman. To my left here is Hazel Godfrey, also a Garrwa woman. Jemima Miller, Mavis Timothy and Dinah Norman are all Yanyuwa women.
There's the other language groups that were involved are the Marra and Gudanji. Obviously we couldn't bring everyone with us. In fact, the whole cast of the book is very many, so we just sort of have representatives. So I'm just going to flick through a couple of slides to bring them in as we can, I hope. And you'll see the Yanyuwa women there, including Marjorie, who sings often with the Yanyuwa women. I hope my device is going to work. And some of the Yanyuwa country and saltwater country. Garrwa singers.
So you got there Marjorie and Hazel, and with the other Garrwa singers there, and of course at the end there it was my late mother who was part of this book. And I'd like to say that I'm very proud that she was part of this book to record songs also with these ladies, and that song was recorded at Robinson River, and Robinson River is a Garrwa country. It's over to the east of Waralungku. It's Calvert River, Garrwa country.
Yeah. It's very close to Hazel's country.
Yeah.
And this was the Marra group. The men of the project. There were some others, but these were the male performers. Didgeridoo, you'll hear a little bit of that further on. Sorry, tech moment. Not sure why that's not working. Thank you. Marra country to the north. So that's saltwater as well. Gudanji family out at Gudanji. And this is some of their rocky stone country, which is a little further inland. So I thought it would be good to show you all, give an idea of where these ladies have travelled from. Marlene was the driver of the bus.
This was the longest trip.
So
as you can see, we're about 900 kilometres southeast of Darwin, about 260 kilometres from the Queensland border, which is over to the east. And then we had to drive 300 kilometres up to the Stewart Highway, and then I don't know how many k's.
It's about 1,200 k's from here. So, and to give a little sense of that, you travel across the Barkly Tablelands, and yeah, so the single track bitumen most of the way there, and you don't want to go in the wet season across that route. Thank you. And this is Waralungku, from the air, obviously. Yeah, I can hear someone behind me saying, you can see the water. That's the MacArthur River up in the top left corner there.
So Waralungku is separated by the MacArthur River, so on each side there's town camps also on the other side, so over to the east side, so we've got people living on the other side as well.
And the bridge across there is called the Crossing. Can you flick back, Christy? Sorry. So that's another view of Waralungku, the oval denoting the school. And when the river's up, there's a, do you want to explain, Marlene, the rocky?
That's the Rocky Creek, that's in the middle of the town. So when that comes up, that's where people go and fish. because they can't get down to the river now because it's flooded, so they come up here. So that is just on the main road as you go into town.
Which I think got washed away in the last...
Yes, it did. It got damaged.
Which splits the town in two, effectively. But anyway.
The town in two, and we had to catch the boat to go to the shops because I live on the other side.
And this is Robinson, which is about 150 k's on from Waralungku or along
east towards the Queensland border.
Yeah.
And that's where Hazel lives.
And so that's a small community. And there's a lot of horse work. And so this just shows you positioning Robinson and Waralungku. And you can see that island country there.
So Waralungku is about 60 kilometres inland from the coast.
So now we're leaping out to the language boundaries to give a sense of where these ladies' country is and all the many languages surrounding. Yeah. Karin. Is that better? It's not on, perhaps? Can you hear me? Any better? It's not on. Not really. It's not on. It's on. It is on. Yeah. It is? Is that better? Sure. So this is that same region before European contact. So this was the language picture when Macassan people were trading with Yanyuwa people.
Macassan people were the first contact that went on shore and met with the people up in the north along the coast. So they're Malay people, and they've been trading for trepang with our people there. And, so that's the story there, and the people now have that strong connection with the Macassan, and that's the history that they left there, and they sing lots of songs about the Macassan.
Thank you. And you'll see where Waralungku and just to the north there, there's Bingbinka and Willingarra, pre-European contact. And then this is the picture today, which is very different, as you can see. I'll let that sit. And this is another way of looking at the country. This is a map showing the Yanyuwa songlines.
Like when you see a map of the region, you see a map that you see on Google. But like we, as traditional owners who live on that land, that's the map that we see. As you can see, there are lots of dreaming, and people talk about dream time, and all their totems and the travels, the journeys that the dreaming did. So that's the map that we see. And over on that's the islands, those are the third Woodpella group of islands. And that's where all the Yanyuwa people are the custodians of those islands. Those are their traditional homes.
The dark spots, what are they?
Can we save questions to
the end? Just clarification on that was all.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that later. Is that all? So one of the questions that we're often asked around this is, how did this book come into being. And by way of an introduction in part, this project, the Song People Sessions, which resulted in this album called Ngambala Wijili Wunongo, was a project that I worked on with co-producer, executive producer on that one, Patrick McCloskey, and that was my introduction to this region. And that was in 2011, and that's when I, for the first time, heard the songs that are in this book, and it blew my mind because they're all social history songs, which was very different from anything I'd heard before. And that album went on to be really successful. This is the ladies performing at the Sydney Opera House. And, oh, can you go back one? Thanks. My name, do you want to? And this is Dinah on the left there with her sister, and they're holding the National Indigenous Music Award trophy that that album won, along with one of the songs from it. So it was tremendously successful, and you know, there's a whole lot of other accolades as well. And Shelley Morris, who was deeply involved in that, it's a collaborative song project, and it was a language revitalisation project. And those songs that were created in Yanyuwa, she's now sung all around the world. So the language has gone all around the world through that. But I think one of the most lovely things that I heard said about it was something that Dinah's daughter said after it was launched in Waralungku, and she said, "You'll see everyone standing taller now." And on the back of that project, Patrick and I were asked to come back and do some more work with women about the songs, because some of those songs haven't been sung for some time. They came out of that project. It was like they welled up out of the country again. So we've been invited back to Turtle Camp, which is something the Sea Ranger unit there runs every year, and this was what we thought was a consultation meeting, one of several, but I realised in hindsight it was more like a recruitment, because there's so much agency here and people have done lots of amazing media work before, and yeah, in hindsight I feel like we were recruited to the job. They knew what they wanted, and that's how that went. So the songs, there's nearly 50 songs in this book, and people decided, you know, which songs they wanted to share, and mostly they're of two kinds. One kind is those social history ones that I mentioned, and they're short, beautifully poetic songs describing things that have happened across history, and some of them go back, you know, 100 years or so to Macassan times, and sung by, composed by men and women. And then another kind that come to people in their dreams, and in this book we've referred to those songs, the people whose those songs sort of belong to, as being the dream song finders, because they come to them through spirit beings who are kin. So these are different from what up that way is called Kujiha, the song lines. So they come from country, but they're not culturally restricted at all, and everyone can sing them anytime. So the plan was to do something really celebratory to keep those songs going, and with that, celebrating that continuity. And so for each language group there was a song camp, and this was the Yanyuwa one. Alan, do you want to talk to this one? Okay. Which one? This one. So this one was held at Jawunga, Black Rock, and which is about 40 k's, I think, from Waralungku, so it's on the river. And the women, at night time, we had a really big sing, and there was a lot of giggling and falling about. There were lots of funny performances there. Come some of that, I hope. Long into the night. And the songs, mostly that were sung, I'll flick through, but I'm not flicking through. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, so there was documentation sitting behind, and we'll talk a little bit more about that because Marlene was quite involved in that with the Garrwa. So when we get the little Garrwa part, she'll talk more about that. But this is Dinah's daughter, who was really integral to the translating with the Yanyuwa, along with John Bradley, who's done a tremendous amount of work in this area. So the translating of the songs was very, very different across each language group, and I don't have time to go into that level of detail, obviously. We want to get to the song from the Songbook. So a lot of the songs that Dinah and Jemima and everyone decided to sing were ones from the land claims. So what's not a very well-known fact is that Yanyuwa people were actually the very first to lodge a claim under the Land Rights Act. It's not a very well-known thing. And some of these songs have come out of their long struggles with land rights claims. I'm going to hand over to Marlene here.
And that claim took about 30 years before that land was handed back, so that's a very long time. All those people who had put in for that claim all have passed on, but left their memories there, and songs, some of them composed, some of them were composers of the songs that they sing, and one of them was one song that they sang on this island where the handbag was, and that's the song they call the Iwerre Atherre, which is the first song in this book, and it's a song about the saltwater people and just talking about how strong they are, and we are the saltwater people. And that's the place, their centre island. That's one of the Pala group of islands, and it belongs to the Iwerre clan, so that's my clan, the Iwerre clan. And that's where the land claim has taken place. And these were the ladies that has passed on, and they were owners of that song.
Yeah, so they're the ladies who composed the song. Karin Riederer, Ali McDinney, Dinah here on the end here. So I think they're all going to sing this song now. Marra, want to sing that the Iwerre Atherre? We're just finding some clapsticks.
Yanda
croaky throats because they're not used to the cold down here. You've done lots of shopping for Vicks. So this song really has become like an anthem since that other project was lifted up out of those land right claims, songs that Dinah made with all of her family. And you often hear this sung now, particularly when there's some kind of public occasion in Waralungku. It rings out all around, which, you know, and the kids all know this one now as well. And you can see in that song page there, across the top, there's a rhythmic notation. It's not the melody, it's the rhythm there. And the words of the songs, they're broken up into the syllables to try and help you find, you know, match the word with the beat. And then the language sitting beneath. And the very beautiful translations. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read that, but I hope people can. Buy the book and then you'll be able to. That's good. Yes. And then up in the top right-hand corner, there's some little icons, and one of them is for a sound reading pen, which I would show you, but I've left it in my bag that's over in the corner there, I'm afraid. But it's a pen that was given to all the families and community who participated with the book, and it's like a little MP3 player. And I think a lot of people will be familiar with it because a lot of oh, no, it's all right, it's too complicated. That's fine, thank you. And that made the book much more accessible to people who didn't have any other method by which they could listen to the recordings, because it's just a battery run thing and you point it at that and there's a code printed into the page and the MP3 player reads that code and it's got a little speaker in the device. So after the launch of that, people were, like I was driving around and you could just hear from people sitting in their driveways listening to that through these tiny little things. And then for people who've got a mobile device and internet access, there's the other little code, which is the QR code. So you can scan that and you can listen through, you know, your mobile device. And that gets used a little bit in Waralungku. The internet, certainly when we made the book, wasn't so great there, generally, but certainly some of the younger people associated with the book use it that way. So the lady's going to sing another song now. Do you want to? Money? Do you want to? So, a-Marrngawi? Yeah. So there's two songs. These ones, there's two songs that they're going to sing now, because you're looking at as well. They're both by Short Friday, a-Wuwarlu. Do you want to speak about him?
This song is about Short Friday, which is Dinah's father's brother, and he was looking over to the sea, and he was looking over and he saw watching the waves, and then he waited until the water was calm, just for him to go over with his canoe. So he waited and he stared at the sea, and as the sea calmed, and then it was okay for him to go over. So that's this song is about.
Do you want to sing that one? Yeah. Where's your stick? very conscious that time is fast disappearing, and very much like to give the Garrwa people some time to speak and sing as well. But this is that's a partner song to that first one. But we're going to skip on. I'm going to skip through Marra country here, and Daniel and Jacob and Jackie and Cedric, who performed those songs. There are a short series of buffalo songs. We might be able to play one near the end, but I'm going to skip through to get to Garrwa here. That's me with Odd Fanny, who's the Marra songs belong to. So this was Robinson for the Garrwa group, and this was their little camp.
So you can see Marjorie and Hazel there, and two other Garrwa women there. So that the songs there that they recorded at Robinson River, and Robinson River is Garrwa country, and that's over to the east of Waralungku. And this one at Calvert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to sing that? That Marra?
We're going to sing that one. So the songs that Hazel sings now is her auntie's songs. And the songs are about a blind mermaid who travelled with other mermaids from the Barclay region, which is to the south, over to the east. And the other mermaids led her downhill to she was looking for a place to settle. So they took her down, and she was feeling around where she could settle. So the songs that Hazel sings now, it's about the blind mermaid, and this was her auntie's song. So Hazel now sings that song. And her and Marjorie are going to sing one.
So that song, there's a number more verses, if you like, in a Western concept. That tells that journey, travelling further on. But then I think Hazel and Marjorie are going to sing one of the other kinds of songs. So that's the one, the dream song kind, with the ancestral journeying. And now they're going to sing one of the ones that's like a social history one. So it's about family, because these songs are very much about kin, and it's bringing, that some hold country up and some hold family together. So I think they're going to sing one called Hiddle now, which is, yep.
That's about sandfly.
Yeah.
That's my brother. That's my brother's They were thinking about my brother. I was sitting down on the riverside. I think sandfly went back into them, so I said, oh, we'll have to move away from them. I'm a sandfly, so I'll start singing them. Like no one did know that until I was start singing to them. Oh, we didn't know that, and I said, yeah, you were older than me. So I sing all them songs.
So we've got Ellie Dixon here, Eleanor Dixon, who's Hazel's granddaughter, and she'd like to speak in the songs too.
Yeah. Hello everybody. My name is Eleanor Dixon. I am a Mudbara and Jingili woman, but I'm also a Garrwa woman from my grandmother. And my mother's here too as well, so 3 generations to come and celebrate and share this moment with these old ladies. I'm here because I've come with my grandmothers and to help support. I also work for Music and Tea, but through this I feel honored to be here, and as the next generation, this is the moment where I can speak for these old ladies and say that what they have done is for us too as well. It's because they are passing down these songs, these song lines to the next generation, and I am one of them. And I feel like it's my responsibility to be here to share the book and the songs. The importance of these songs is something that I feel like it needs to be handed down to the children too, to us, to the grandchildren. I will hold this book and I will pass it on to my daughter and my granddaughter. And it's the same way that my grandmothers do for us. And today, it's a celebration because this is more than just a book. This is more than just a song. It is our life. It is our culture. It is our identity. For that, this is us. We are opening our country and our family and sharing it with everyone. And we are, I'm really grateful to be here, to be on a-Marrngawi country with my grandmothers, Areri, to be here and to share this. And with all the Jabuga from Yundumu, we've come all together to share our culture and our song lines, and us as mothers, my grandmothers as mothers of the country. And thank you all for coming. Thank you all for taking the time. And I don't speak, I understand Garrwa, but I don't speak it. But through this I will learn, and through my grandmother I will learn. I'm a strong Mudbara woman, but we all connected through song lines as well, so that don't make us all different from each other. And for that I am who I am as a young woman, and I am here speaking today because I have the confidence from these old women. So I just want to say thank you all, and thank these old ladies. Thank the a-Marrngawi ladies, and thank all the Welpri ladies for coming and sharing their story too as well. And thank you all. Marra. I'll pass it back to him.
No, I'll just let him I'll just show you, because we do want Gudanji people who are very much a part of this as well. These are sitting quietly at the moment, these songs, because of a lot of sewing business.
Can I just explain?
Yeah, go.
I should have explained this earlier. There are 4 language groups in Waralungku. So the Yanyuwa and Marra, they're coastal people, so saltwater people. And we got Gudanji mob and Garrwa mob. So Gudanji mob are more south of Waralungku region, and then we got Garrwa mob over to the east, so they're like freshwater from hillside country people. And yeah, so there's 4 language groups. And I was honoured to be part of this project. I went on this camp here with the Gudanji mob and also to Robinson River to participate in the Garrwa one. So it was an honour for me too, because that's when I found out that, you know, we'd sit there and write the songs, but when you hear a song, it's not just that song. There is a lot of thing about that song you hear. And I was like, there were things there, I learned things that I didn't even know. So when I sit there and listen to them songs and, oh, so-and-so made this song, so-and-so sang this song back then. So that song's got a lot of story, even that person, the composer of that song, that I didn't know about. And that was very important, and I'm really, really glad that I was part of this project, and I went to 2 of them camps. And it's about learning about that song, and then you think about that country, and it's good when you take people back to record these songs on country. It's more important because that's where you feel that, like, not only that connection there, but you can feel the presence there, that spirit of those ancestors, you know, and it gives them strength. I know I felt that when I went to Robinson River with old Ngauji Hazel. This old lady here is my grandmother's cousin, and when they sat there and sang, and my late mother joined her singing, and my mum never sang, but like they had that spiritual connection, and it gave them that confidence to sing. She and another Garrwa lady who sang there, Shirley Simon, and they were so confident, and they sang, and it's like this old lady, we sat there talking during lunchtime, and she mentioned a song that just came into her mind then, but she heard that song when she was a young girl, and it just came into her mind. It's like that spirit just put it there in her mind, this old lady here. And she sang that song, and we sat there, Karin ran and put the recorder on. And she said, I remember this song when I was 16 years old. So it's really important when they go back to that country, and that all those memories come flooding back in, you know? But you feel that connection, and that's what connects you back to your country, is song and dances. Yeah. That's all. So that's the Gudanji mob there in the yellow skirts. And they also dance Marra, which is the dreaming from south of Waralungku. So they sing about these mermaids too that came from the south of the Barclay region, and mermaids came from the north. And they met up and they danced together. So most of these songs that these women sing out with the composers of these songs, they dream about these spiritual being and put their songs in them, and then they start singing these songs, and that song has been passed on then. So it's the same with the Gudanji mob and Garrwa mob as well. So they sing about the journey of the mermaids and on their travels.
So I'm going to ask Christy to fairly quickly move this because we're running out of time. Marlene, can I just have... what you're seeing moving in front of your eyes there is all of the composers and song finders, if we can just flip back a little bit, and the performers who were involved in the making of this book, whose songs are in this book either through performance or through having composed them. And everyone very much wanted to honour those old people. So we did a lot of work to try to find photographs and stories of those old people, and you know, a lot of conversations to try to remember who made that song. And that was a very important part of that honouring process.
Where'd you get that?
Ah. Marlene hasn't seen that photo before. I snuck that in. So the book got an honourable mention at the Northern Territory History Book Awards last year. The judges said that it didn't fit neatly into their categories, and I was quite delighted by that. And what they did say was that it's a beautiful, immersive, I've got my glasses on, I can't actually read that, experience that, could you do that briefly? I'm sure you've got better eyesight than me.
That represents the importance of oral history and song to Indigenous culture.
Thank you. And they created a special category for the first time in order, they said we can't not give it an award. So yeah, that was another proud moment. Marlene, can I hand back? We had a little conversation just to finish up around the theme of crossings for this festival, and Yanyuwa and Garrwa ladies thought about what would that, how might we put that in our language? And so I'm going to hand over to Marlene again here.
Yeah, they were discussing that yesterday, that all of us all together, so in Yanyuwa it's a-Marrngawi, a-Wuwarlu. So all of us all together. And the a-Malumba, so that's in Garrwa, one down the bottom, all of us putting words and stories together. So all of us together. So we got Yanyuwa and Garrwa.
And that brings us to a close. We might be able to put some songs on, I think, maybe. But thank you all very much for coming. I think, and Ellie, thank you for your contributions as well and for carrying things on. That's a very wonderful thing. Yeah. The book is for sale out at the stall, I think, and there's also the CD that was made with Shelley Morris as well. But thank you all so much, and please sing. If you do listen to the blurbs on the back of the book, they're in language and English, and Marjorie says, please sing along with us, good way. Jemima Miller, Marjorie Keighran Managirri, Marjorie Keighran